You're gonna have to excuse this video. It is really super rough. I am out on the road, just making a quick little video, a thought that came to mind that can help contractors. A lot of people want to crap on Xactimate and say, you know, the program's rigged or broken, but I feel, especially for new contractors, and maybe you're a great skilled person, but you're not great at estimating, or you don't yet know what the metrics are for estimating. So the common back in the day, because I'm so old, was RS means. You looked up a book and it showed you by region, it showed you by area what standardized pricing was for particular trades, and it has, you know, if you're in this area, here's the, you know, the percentage cost difference, variance, whatever. Xactimate in a lot of ways does that, and so especially for new contractors, new entrepreneurs, it can be a great way. Don't treat it like the Bible, right? That it's the only way, but it'll give you, if you put your time in to do an accurate sketch, it'll give you square footage counts for walls and ceilings. You can get linear footage counts for your baseboard. Say there's just a drywall patch. So this area here, let's say this is your common 2-foot flood cut. So this is 2 foot high, and let's say, just for maybe some easy numbers, this is 4 foot wide. So your area of drywall repair. Now, if you were using DRY 1/2 inch in Xactimate, that would give you 8 square feet. Obviously, I don't have Xactimate open right now, so it's going to give you X number of dollars. Now, what most people should understand, DRY-LF, which is the 2 linear feet high, and if you put 4 linear feet, it's going to give you more money, and it's designed, it's an Xactimate line item designed for these kind of scenarios where a patch, you know, just using the square footage isn't quite going to get you where you want. That's the area of drywall that you're going to repair. So maybe let's color that in. Let's just use what we already got. Let's color that in. This is our drywall. This is our drywall patch, right? So now when we go to do the texture, at minimum, and this is usually, in my experience, accepted by most carriers, we're going to go 2 feet beyond any of the areas where we repaired the wallboard. So now this is 4, and then 4 plus 2 plus 2 is going to give us 8, right? Oops. So 8. So our texture area, is 4 by 8, which is 32 square feet, right? So a big pickup here is if you use drywall LF instead of drywall 1/2 inch, you can pick up quite a bit of dollars. But if you're estimating, and all you're estimating is to texture that 8 square feet, you're missing, what, 24 square feet. We've just picked up 24 square feet of legitimate, you know. Some people would say if this is a small enough wall, let's go ahead and do drywall texture wall, and that, you know, whatever that square footage is, and that may be a legitimate claim. Put your time in to do an accurate sketch. It'll give you square footage counts for walls and ceilings. You can get linear footage counts for your baseboard, you know, so, and it will help you print out, you know, materials list, and it'll give you basic budget for your hours, you know, for production, so that you know how much time the project should tell you based on very basic metrics, right? So maybe down the road you upgrade out of it, or you think, you know, you find ways that it's insufficient. There's plenty of people out there that'll show you how to create a custom price list, but you know, for people that don't know their costs and their labor costs, they don't know how to estimate, or they're concerned they might be too high or too low. There are a lot of contractors we work with, when we write an estimate for them properly in Xactimate, they're like, oh my gosh, this is so much more money. Another area that is underutilized is this area here, this area here, this area here. That's a linear foot measurement. So if you go drywall, drywall, patch, we used to use LF, but now patch J is more accurate. It's a blending of new drywall to old drywall. And some carriers will allow you to use this, others won't. So say for some reason like this seam was popped, and again, I'm not saying this as like Xactimate Pro, I'm just saying some of the common things. If this seam were popped, some additional footage, that's when you would want to use drywall patch LF, patch per linear foot, specifically for the patch. And then I would argue you would want your texture again to be 2 feet beyond that patch. But let's focus on our patch here for now. If here alone, I can tell you, if you use drywall LF for a flood cut situation, and there's also a 4 foot and there's a 6-inch one, you're going to make gains because this is a line item designed by Xactimate to help with this kind of scenario. If you use your texture, if you can get the whole wall and make a case for it, you know, that's great. I've found that most carriers will allow you to at least charge for the 2 feet beyond, right? They understand that metric. Okay, so we've got the pickup there from patch. Maybe you do wall. Your drywall patch J is that linear footage. So this would be 2 plus 4 plus 2. So that would be a total of 8 linear feet. If you're doing these other areas, you'd want to measure that linear feet and then incorporate the texture into yours. So now we've got the now we've got the paint. So another area that we see utilizing a lot of this is let's going to seal and paint another 2 feet all the way around. So now we're at 6 feet, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? I don't always have my math, so 6 times 2, 12, 6, 72. So our P&T seal paint is going to be 72 square feet. So again, if this is our pickup on texture was 24 square feet, if you were only writing for that 8 square feet, you know, you're missing, what, 664 square feet. These aren't big, but say you've got, you know, 3 or 4 rooms, these are going to be huge pickups, you know, as far as your overall revenue and profitability for legitimate items that you're leaving on the table. Now, this area here is blend in. PNTP, which is your 1 coat, and you're gonna do you could do 0.25 wall minus 72 because you're accounting for what you've already painted in that seal paint, or if you're trying to make the case that all the walls need to be painted, wall minus 72, you know. And if this extends to those joints, a lot of times people don't account for the additional work on the joints, or if it's a bull nose, those kinds of things. So and again, this is a pickup where a lot of people leave money off the table. Most carriers will at least allow you to paint that wall. I think most restorers know, and most homeowners are going to expect that you paint, you know, those additional walls, these ones here, to kind of blend in. But at minimum, you know, you should be able to make a case to paint the remainder of that wall. So, you know, as I said, I don't have Xactimate. I'm out on the road. I don't have it open up. I know the line items and how this would help. This is just basic level stuff. There are a lot of contractors we work with, when we write an estimate for them properly in Xactimate, they're like, oh my gosh, this is so much more money. And it's, yeah, you're undercharging for your services. And so, not advocating doing things wrong, but writing a properly structured estimate consistently every time, you know, and we talk about in the book, there's different strategies for the book, The Intentional Estimating. We talk about different strategies for you know, dealing with insurance carriers, especially if you want to get that line of the work. But even for construction, it can be a great way to start yourself off right, because it'll give you line item, you know, transparent estimates, you know, to give you some aspect of understanding, okay, this is the ballpark of what I should be in, and then help you, once you track those things and you start putting people to work based on a production plan, you know, that has labor and materials lined out, then you can start to say, oh, okay, this program for us is low here and here and here, and you can upgrade to people that can help you with a custom price list and those kinds of things. This is just basic level stuff, but the kind of things when managers don't discuss these common line items with their estimators, and estimators don't have a process themselves for making sure they have some consistency in the way they write their scopes, then you end up missing, you know, legitimate line items. But so what we're sharing is just some of the basic, you know, pickups and processes for writing better estimates to get better outcomes. So write it in a way that the insurance company can understand it, using the common language, and then you know, having some consistency and some clarity in your estimates so that you can get to work, right, and figure out ways to be profitable. So a lot of times people want to complain about the tools and they're not learning how to use the tools correctly. So hopefully, Be Intentional Estimating by John Isaacson will help you develop the right mindset and habits for yourself and your team to succeed with estimating property insurance claims.